My name is Jaclyn Anderson, and I'm excited to share my undergraduate research with you today. This is the window of opportunity, sexual swellings as ovulatory indicators in the olive baboon. Today, I'll focus our talk on sexual swellings and fertility, but I would like to mention that this is just one part of a larger study that I'm involved in, researching sexual selection in the olive baboon. For those of you that may not be familiar, sexual selection theory is essentially Darwin's theory of natural selection, famously known as the survival of the fittest, extended into this realm of reproduction, wherein the sexes compete for access to quality mates. This theory is central to my research interests and has strong implications in both species conservation and reproductive health. The goal of our research is to explore the relationship between fertile windows estimated from vaginal cellular changes and the sexual swellings of baboons. Primate sexual swellings, you can see pictured here, are hormone-dependent signals where genital skin of females increases in size around the time of ovulation and then deflates or shrinks back down. Current hypotheses posit that the size of swellings may serve as advertisements of fertility. However, the reliability of these signals in predicting ovulation has been shown to vary widely between species, between individuals, and between menstrual cycles of the same individual. We predicted that maximum swelling size would be probabilistically aligned with ovulation, supporting hypotheses that female sexual swellings serve as probabilistic signals of fertility and may be used to both concentrate and confuse paternity. This is understood through nuanced sexual selection theory, wherein females may be exploiting variation in the visual signal to control reproduction and influence paternity. Essentially, females may use the signal to their advantage, influencing males behaviorally or potentially even immunologically, which may ultimately offer females a competitive edge in this reproductive competition. We observed and measured the sexual swellings of 9 captive female olive baboons over multiple menstrual cycles using digital photographs and a photogrammetry program. We also collected cellular data through vaginal swabs taken concomitantly, which we used to pinpoint a likely ovulation day and fertile window. When we compared the visual swelling data and the cellular ovulation estimates, we can see some pretty interesting patterns arising. So first, we'll just look at one individual's fertility over time. Now here the purple line is indicating the anogenital area over time, so the change in the size of the swelling. And the red line here is just indicating the first day of deflation, so the first day the swelling starts to shrink. And this is often correlated with ovulation. Now our fertile window estimates and cellular ovulation is indicated by the orange rectangles in this graph. And so we can see that for the first cycle, this female's swelling and ovulation are closely linked, but that's not the case for the second cycle. And we can also look at inter-individuals differences in the swelling size over a cycle for multiple females. And each female here is represented in a different color. So we can see that some females, maximum swelling size and ovulation day are closely linked, but for others, it's not the case. So we found that maximum swelling size does not always co-occur with the fertile window. We also substantiated variation between individuals and within individuals between cycles. And this allowed us to conclude that, as predicted, sexual swellings in the olive baboon serve as probabilistic signals of fertility. We hope that studies such as this will contribute to our understanding of female reproductive strategies in their own regard, but also in a wider context. Specifically, our cellular ovulation data has the potential to inform some underlying mechanisms of sexual selection and fertility. And this may be particularly impactful for future studies focused on human infertility. Now, this research will benefit from future behavioral as well as molecular studies exploring the cellular and genetic dimensions of fertility in this model species, which in fact my research team is working on presently. I hope this study may emphasize the value of anthropological research for answering these types of interdisciplinary questions. Through a kind of holistic approach, we're able to sit at the intersection between primate studies and evolutionary biology and health sciences, which I think allows a unique position to tackle these widespread human health problems. We might even have the potential to uncover some evolutionary adaptations that may be working against us, causing some of the presently unexplained infertility issues faced by many Canadian couples today. So thank you so much for listening. I'd also like to thank my supervisors and collaborators, as well as all of the funding bodies that made this research possible.